Welcome, everyone. So, we are going to be discussing the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo today. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to kind of start with the big picture and then dial in to some smaller nitty gritty things. So, our agenda for today is I want to review the venue site, which is what I have pulled up right now. Then we will talk about dates, times, locations, open hours. This is a 10-day rodeo. And so, exhibitors are required to be on site all 10 days. So, we'll go through that schedule. We'll talk about the floor plan, what's available in inventory still for registration if you'd like to come on out. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the setup and the teardown schedule, and then what I'm calling the buyer's guide. So, to give you some guidance as to what type of inventory to bring to the rodeo. And I'll give you a little teaser right now. If your brand is not rodeo all the time, then don't come rodeo. What I mean by that is you want to be your brand. So if you are a girly girl, everything is pink and florals, plus size boutique, then that is how you should come to the rodeo. Because although everyone is very excited about rodeoing up and getting their boots on to come to the rodeo, a lot of consumers give us feedback they are not rodeoers every single day of the year, and they really like a variety of items in the market. So we're going to talk about some items that you should bring with you and all of that good stuff. And then we'll end the presentation with lodging. And you don't want to miss that because lodging in Waco can be, I don't want to say tricky, but it is a smaller town. 250,000 people do come to the rodeo. Um, so many do, obviously travel from their home, but it is more of a rural area. So people also make a weekend out of it and stay the weekend in town. And then, of course, all of our vendors and the rest of the vendors for the rodeo will also be utilizing lodging. So it's important to think through where you're going to stay and make sure that you book in advance. So I say register for your booth and then turn around right away and register for your lodging. So let's talk about the venue site. So this is called Extraco Event Center, and that is where the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo is held. This building right here is called the Coliseum, and that is where the actual rodeo happens. So that's going to be your barrel racing, your bull riding, and all of those fun activities. The main entrance to the fair and rodeo is right here. I'll zoom in because I'm not sure how it's coming on your side. But basically right here, there is a gate that people will have to have their ticket to come in the gate. This is the building that the um, hot shops or the exhibitors will be in, where we will be living. So what's great is right here you have the front gate, and then people can go straight inside to the building. Generally, there are some like outdoor, we'll call them exhibitors, but it's really more like heavy equipment, she sheds and things like that, not necessarily people selling on site, just promoting their local business. The rodeo has done a great job. This will be our third year with them, of enhancing the front of the building to make it more attractive. And I know they're doing even more this year. So last year we had like some big booths out there. We had some big signs and banners that hot shops were inside, and it really did bring in more traffic. So we're excited to grow, the relationship with them and grow the presence of the market. If you can tell from the satellite photo, it looks like the building's under construction, and that's because it is a brand new building. So the building itself is only 3 years old. When we had the rodeo exhibitors in here for the first time, that was one of the first events that ever happened in this building. So let's talk a little bit about consumer parking and exhibitor parking, and then, well, I guess I'll finish with what I started. Sorry, rewind. So let's go through the floor plan and then we'll talk about parking. This is back of house. So this is where exhibitors will load in and load out. And this is also the staging area for the stage. So the stage is right here, and it's a really nice big trailer stage, and they do have great performers there. There's music on the weekend days, not necessarily every day during the week, like your Mondays and Tuesdays. So this is all back end staging and for exhibitor access. Then you have your various like beer gardens, wine gardens, a lot of food exhibitors in this area. And Waco is really proud of their food exhibitors at the rodeo. A lot of people come to the rodeo just to eat the fair food. So you'll find a little bit of everything: hot food, snacks, sweets, turkey legs, drinks, all the things. And then back here where the satellite has all of these RVs parked, this whole section back here is all Midway and Carnival. And of course, they're going to have all your rides that you're used to seeing at the rodeo, including the big Ferris wheel. And so the great thing is it's a very affordable event. It's around $14 for a consumer to get a ticket to come to the rodeo. That I should say to the fair. $14 gets them in to the fair and anything in this section, including the concert. So the concerts are included in their ticket price, which is great. The only thing that is additional is if they want to go to the rodeo presentation, then they would purchase a rodeo ticket as well, and that would get them into the rodeo attractions. So, um, this parking lot here, as well as the parking lot in the front and this grass over here, is all for consumer parking. Most people, I shouldn't say most people because we're normally over here, right? So I don't necessarily see what's going on this side, but I do feel like most consumers park in this grass lot. Of course, it is paid parking for them. The cement lot here in the front of the building is more expensive. They call it VIP parking. Um, so most consumers will be parking here and they'll be walking down this driveway and then coming in the front gates. Alternatively, they can come in from this side. Last year, we had exhibitors parking in this back lot. So you would park here and then you would walk this way and enter through the back of the building. There is not enough room for exhibitor parking behind the expo hall, so that is not an option. However, if you do need to restock, load, unload any items during the week, then we do arrive an hour before opening every day, and you can pull your vehicle to the back to unload. So if you need to restock, you can do that and then go park in exhibitor parking. Now, I want to say take that with, a grain of salt or be flexible or be open to things do change. The year before, exhibitors were parking in this grass lot. We moved them back here and it seemed to work really well, but I will say this is a school. So a few weekdays, there can be some congestion here because school is letting out and exhibitors are coming in at the same time. So just be mindful of notifications. Make sure you're checking your emails daily while we're on site because we'll always be communicating with you guys via email. And if you sign up for our text alerts via text, so we can let you know if anything changes. But always just plan to be there at least an hour before the show starts. That way you have plenty of time for rodeo traffic, you have plenty of time to park, you have plenty of time to get to your booth to be open by opening time. All right, so that is the kind of outdoor lay of the land. Now let's take a look at the indoor lay of the land. So the way this map sits is if we just put it straight on top of this building, it would sit the exact same way. So here is our interior floor plan. So all of the entrance doors are here on the far left. So if we were looking at that satellite map, the consumers would be coming through the gate, they'd be coming in here and they would be entering this door. I will say we are the only building, I mean, besides the Rodeo Coliseum, but as far as the fair concert midway, we're the only indoor building for restrooms. So that is a great draw for people to also come inside the building. So they enter in here, and I will say just what I've seen, most traffic will come in and they'll kind of snake around this way. They'll go down here and then they will take a left and then they might go up and snake around this way. The Farm Bureau brings a lot of attention and attraction. It's a kids interactive exhibit. There are baby animals, yes, baby animals. So there's like baby goats. I think there was chicks. There's baby pigs, and so the kids can play with those. And there's different ways they can interact and learn about agriculture and farming. So I will say that all of the booths that kind of surround the Farm Bureau do get a lot of attention, and here's why: because parents can slow down. They are, close enough that they feel safe. They can watch their kid while they're playing and really spend some time in these booths. So those are always really great locations as well. Um, and then people will come and snake around over here. And I was really happy last year because being again, this is our third year. We did a different floor plan last year because Big Top is always improving and trying to make things better. and give you guys more opportunities for sales. But we were a little bit worried about this side of the room getting traffic. And I will say that most of the exhibitors on that side were really happy with their traffic and really happy with their sales. Now, let's talk about pricing and colors. So, in general, when you look at any big top map, your pinks and your purples are going to be premium spaces. So, they are more expensive. They are typically in the higher trafficked areas. Depending on the event, they might come with other things like a big top tent or coverage, some type of shade. Again, depends on indoor versus outdoor. So for the rodeo, this is premium for traffic because you are going to get the most traffic on this side of the room and around the Farm Bureau. And then the yellows and the oranges are always our standard pricing. So they are, reduced price for you guys. I will say like this, BF10 was a custom furniture vendor last year. He did very well. Anywhere that you see a T or basically like a dead end, so this is an aisle and it dead ends into a booth. This one dead ends, this one dead ends straight into a booth. We have found at the rodeo that is very successful. If you guys have watched our double your sales with display training, you've heard me say people want to be told what to do. And this tells them exactly what to do when they get there. They don't know what to do and they go straight into the booth. So we've tried to create a floor plan that really works for everyone on both sides of the room, price it accordingly. Um, One great thing about this event is electricity is included for everybody. So everyone will have an outlet in their booth. There is Wi-Fi that you do have to pay for in addition once we get on site. It's through a different company. If you'd like to get the hot Wi-Fi, I believe it's $50 for the entire event. Um, we've had, all different things. We have some people who do the Wi-Fi. We have a lot of people who don't do the Wi-Fi and just use their phones. Personal hotspots are great, which if you go to our website and type in exhibitor toolkit, then you'll find all the hotspots and things that we recommend. Alrighty. And so down here we have concessions, and it's kind of like a convenience store, like I would say like a Starbucks kind of cooler. They have like sandwiches, drinks. They do have beer in there. They're actually getting more signage because they did really well last year in sales. So I'm excited about that. And then the big top office, if you're looking for us, is right back here in the corner. And we have a secondary kid zone. This is it's like I would say yard games, but they're very much like oversized and meant for more like toddler age is the general demographic that's in this kid zone. So I was about to say, any questions on the floor plan? If you guys do want to unmute yourself, if you do have any questions, feel free to shout them out or we will continue on our journey.
This is Rhonda.
Yes, ma'am.
Just wanted to let you know, as a previous vendor, that layout that you're showing from last year, I heard nothing but good things from the vendors and the customers.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I agree. I think that it really worked well. We tweaked it a little bit, but it's generally the same. And this is Rhonda right here, ADO3, her home base. Okay, so let's talk about schedules, daily deliverables for HOT and how you can access that information on the website. So I've gone to just our website, bigtop.show, and what you would do is find an area you can make a click, go to our event schedule. The event schedule is where you can find all of our events. And you will find that every single event has basically two buttons you can click on. The top larger one is going to give you what we call consumer details. That's more so information that the shoppers want to know. What hours are we open? What are the directions? What's the address? And then, of course, exhibitor registration is going to be where you can register as an exhibitor. And these are all in date order. So I'm going to go down quickly to October. And we have hot shops here. So let's check out the consumer page first. These are the hours of operation for this year, the same as they have been for the past previous years. You'll see that we open on Thursday, October 5th, and we open at 6 p.m. And that's really a soft opening night, to be honest. It's kind of like the dress rehearsal for the whole rodeo. So, yes, there are people there. Yes, there are sales made, but please do not be discouraged on the first night if it's not, all of your expectations and more as to you thought you were going to sell $1 million that night. It is a soft opening night, so just have that expectation in mind. And then we start off with the weekend, and the weekends are, of course, where the business is going to be. And so we have Friday from 4 to 11, and then Saturday and Sunday are noon to 11. Time subject to change and get updated. Just want to make sure that these are correct, but I do believe these are. Um, Monday, October 9th has historically been a pretty good day for sales. That's Columbus Day, so there are a lot of people out of school. So for a Monday, it's a really good sales day. No complaints that I've heard from exhibitors. There's great traffic all day, a lot of families as well. Tuesday, October 10th, could possibly be one of the slowest days of the rodeo. It is a Tuesday, but of course, you do still have rodeo going, carnival going, and all of the attractions. And then Wednesday, we start to pick back up. Thursday gets even better. Then we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And typically speaking, for the rodeo, as far as overall attendance, the last weekend has the highest attendance compared to the first weekend. So generally, people do better and better as the rodeo goes along. I will say, just to plug it in one more time, if you have not checked out our Double Your Sales with Display training, it's so important, especially for rodeo. Display can double your sales, and this is not, an expensive event to participate in. So you do want to make sure that you are making sales. Um, and so if you go over to the blog, if you've never done it, this is a brand new one we just dropped about a month ago, and Double Your Sales with Display Training 2.0. And it's going to talk about all of the things to get your display up to speed, because I really do believe that display is 50% of your sales volume. All right, back on track. So, free admission into hot shops with your fair ticket. So that's a $14 ticket. Strollers are welcome. We are 100% indoor market located in the base. The floors are concrete, very, very high ceilings. Um, Good lighting. If you have smaller items, if you have jewelry, things like that, as you know, you probably want to bring some accent lighting, but we do have good lighting in there. Um, Climate controlled as well. So AC, heat, and the works. This will be your address. You can click right here. It'll give you directions from Google Maps. I'll let you guys read through these. These are like general, FAQs about the show. The other thing is we do have a hotel block right now with Aloft Hotels, so it's discounted for exhibitors and consumers if they come through here. Um, I can't stress enough how important lodging is. And let me see on my list when we're going to talk about lodging. Okay, at the end. So I'll save that for the end. But this is a place where you can find a group rate. You can read through these FAQs, honestly, guys, on your own time, but I just wanted to show you where they were. And then, of course, we have the exhibitor list that we update about once a month. So if you register and you're not automatically on that list, do not be concerned. We do have to update it manually about once a month. All right, so now let's talk about exhibitor registration. So again, if you were on that schedule page, you could just click here, exhibitor registration, and that's going to give you the map and the inventory of what is still available. So as you can see, we are selling out fast. If you do want to participate in hot shops, then please register soon and do not wait until the last minute. As they say, buy now or cry later. So I wanted to just kind of go through what is available. I'll pull up the larger map. So we have B, C, 11, and 13, which I would say these two rows probably have the highest traffic from, this whole section, just because when people are coming from Farm Bureau, it's a very natural place to go. Generally speaking, you don't want to necessarily be the last row in any event. You just are naturally going to have a little bit less traffic because people get lazy. They look down and say, no, I'm just going to go here. So we have B and where are we at? B and C, we have BD 11 through 13. So this side here. We have BE 6 through 13. So that's going to be this whole section here is available. And then BF 2 through 8. So that's going to be your back row. And then B BG2 and 3. So only these two booths left. And I would say if there's a hidden gem in here, it's BG2. If you're like, I just don't know which one, I really want to do a 10 by 10, I would grab that one before it's gone. And then I would probably hit up this aisle coming straight off of the Farm Bureau, and then I would hit up this aisle. And then, personally speaking, my last choice would obviously be the last aisle. But it is one of those things that you snooze, you lose. So you do want, if you want the opportunity to sell, I would say if that's all that's available, go ahead and register. I think for us as Big Top, the most, accolades or compliments or things that we can get is when exhibitors want to return and they want to register right away because they are successful. And so when we see the floor plan is filling up in March and April, it really is like, okay, we're on the right track here. And it's been so fun working with the rodeo. Again, this is our third year working with them to really grow it because they have a great vision as well. They want this rodeo to be like the Houston rodeo. They want people to want to come to the rodeo if for any reason just to shop. They want that demographic to come into the rodeo that otherwise wouldn't have come, but they're coming because there is a great market. So we're excited about building that up with them and getting all the different types of exhibitors. Which kind of leads into, I touched on it earlier, but the buyer's guide. What should I bring? What should I sell? Who is the right type of exhibitor for hot shops? And I would say all exhibitors who want to make money are the right exhibitors for hot shops. There's not one particular genre of clothing or gadgets or whatnot that we just want the whole market to be that, right? We want the most diverse group of products available because that's what gets the consumer excited when they see something new and different around every turn. So, of course, we're going to have jewelry. We're going to have, and let's talk about jewelry, every price range, right? We have everything from your um, authentic turquoise and silver jewelry, where the average piece costs $1,000. And then we have Rhonda, who specializes in fashion jewelry and nothing's over $5, right? So having that wide variety of pricing, not just for the show, but also in your booth is ideal. I always try to say have a variety of pricing and have a variety of quality and those impulse purchases as well at the cash wrap. But not to get into our display training too much. Um, as far as boutique, where we could actually use the most is plus size, what I'm going to say, like everyday wear. So your cute dresses, your cute tops. What I would say mostly boutiques that you would find at most big top entertainment events. We have quite a few Western boutiques that come out to this event, and that is great. But again, feedback we got from consumers last year is I don't really rodeo every day. So I really wanted to find like a cute summer dress or some cute fall fashion finds. Um, for impulse purchases for boutiques, things like cheap flip-flops, slippers with rubber soles, croc kind of style, things like that. Because remember, people are dressing up to rodeo and that's not what they normally wear. So when you're walking around for, 2 hours at the rodeo, those boots start to hurt your toes. And so they do want to come to the market and find something that they can replace their boots with. So I'm just talking about impulse purchases that you can do really quick sales on. Another thing is jackets and sweaters. You're going to get in that 10 days, being October in Texas, every type of weather pattern. So, guaranteed it's going to be hot a couple days, guaranteed it's going to rain at least one day, and guaranteed it is going to get cold. And when it gets cold up in Central Texas, it gets pretty cold and windy, chills you right to the bone. So, jackets sell really well. Children's clothing sells really well at this event, again, especially for jackets. And I heard from so many children's boutiques that so many kids peed their pants at the rodeo. I mean, it's just an unheard of number of customers were coming in because their kids peed in their pants and they did not have extra clothes with them. So keep that in mind when you're doing your product mix. Gadgets and gizmos, like I'm talking about the little, have one in the kitchen, like the little handheld blender, where you can like whip cream with this little handheld blender thing, the little choppers, all of the little kitchen and home gadgets and gizmos, the flexi tape. People really like that kind of stuff, and they want to interact with an exhibitor who is doing demonstrations and showing live demos on site. So if you have those types of items, this is a great event for you. Of course, or going to like everything customized is always welcome. If you can customize on site, that's going to be great as well. So that's going to be like your tumblers, your sublimation tees, hats, hat bar, hat branding, all of that good stuff as well. And then we do have some commercial exhibitors in this event as well. So we have like a local ATV store that brings out a great display of ATVs, woodcraft, craft type projects, handmade items, quilts. I'm telling you, if you have a product, it will fit in really well at this rodeo. Another place where I think we're lacking and we could really use more exhibitors is in what I call gourmet food. So that's going to be like your salsas, your dips, your rubs, those type of things. They can do really, really well at this event if you have the right display and you have the salesmanship to get people to try your product. Um, I think we could use more of those as well. So let me take a look here at my list and see what we have not covered. We have not covered setup and teardown days. So the rodeo begins on Thursday. Go back up here. So Thursday, October 5th at 6 p.m. So on Thursday, we will run exhibitor setup from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we'll be closing the loading dock at 5 p.m. You need to have everything in the building. And then we will also have set up the day before Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I will say the early bird gets the worm. You know, the earlier that you are in setup, the closer you can get. Since this is a concrete floor, in some cases we can have people drive in to unload their vehicle. And so it kind of goes back to the early bird gets the worm. If you're the first person there, you have the best shot of being able to drive up to your booth to unload and then go park. Of course, if you show up on Thursday at 4 p.m., the room's going to be too packed. There's no way you're going to actually get into the expo hall with your vehicle. So keep that in mind. If you do need extended setup times, like you're like, that's just not enough time for me, please reach out because we are there additional days, but we're doing our setup. We do provide black pipe and drape for everybody. So you will have a black curtain at the back of your booth. And then we're running those electrical boxes and getting everything set up for exhibitor move in. So if you do need extended setup times, please reach out. And then each day of the market, like I said, we open 1 hour prior to general admission. So on Friday, we open at 4. That means the room will be open at 3 p.m. for exhibitors. Beyond that, the room is locked. There's 24-hour security for the base building and the entire rodeo. You will not be allowed in. So if you come in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because you forgot your, whatever, your phone, your keys, whatever the case may be in your booth, you will not be allowed into the expo hall. And that is just to help us shrink and any mischief. So keep that in mind. The hours are pretty strict on when you can and cannot get into the exhibit hall. All right, so let's talk a little bit about lodging. um, of course, hotels. We do have the hotel block posted on the website, so you can check that out. You can do your own research as to where you want to stay in town. Airbnb can be great. I will say if you've never been to Waco, and I'll just put it this way, if you're a lady who's traveling alone, I don't know if Airbnb is 100% the best way to go. Just because how do I say this so nicely? But I've just had I've had exhibitors say, I wish I would have just stayed in a hotel. I'll leave it at that. If you are coming in a group with a couple other exhibitors and you have 2 or 3 people to split, I think staying at an Airbnb would be a great idea. One thing that I would have you really consider though is this website RV Share. We've used them several times for different events, and basically you can rent RVs. There are several RV parks in Waco and several very close, like within 5 to 10 minutes driving distance from the fairgrounds. So you can kind of go in here and put in your details and what you're looking for, and they will deliver the RV. They will set it up. You live in it, and then the owner will come and pick it up when you're done. But it's so affordable. We found the last few years it's about half the price of a hotel to run an RV and do it that way. Plus, of course, you have like a kitchen, so you can cook instead of eating out for 10 days. So that is nice as well. So if it's not something you've considered, I would at least take a look and you just find your RV park, rent your spots, which are normally like $30 to $50 a night for the RV spot. And then you can come and put the address in here. and pick out whichever type of RV. There's big and smalls. But something to consider if you had not thought about it, it's a great way. It's a great way to save some money on lodging, especially for long events like this. That concludes my presentation on the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo. But I am open to questions. If anybody has them, you can unmute yourself. Or Brittany, if there's anything that I did not cover that you think we should, please feel free to unmute yourself and add in. All right, without further ado, then we will conclude this meeting. If you do have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to us on email, social media, give us a call, all the ways. We are here to help. We'd love to answer any questions that you have about the Heart of Texas. Again, if you are considering it, you just haven't pulled the trigger, I would say now is probably the time to really start looking at it and get your registration in because this is the final inventory of what we have available. So I do expect that we'll sell out, by mid-August, early September. This event will be fully booked. All right. Well, have a wonderful day and thank you for joining us. Or if you're on the recording, thank you for watching.